From today, I've decided to take care of Amy and Yuri. When my husband got back home, there were his sister and her child standing next to him. He has decided that we live with them together and support them. How could he prioritize his sister and niece over our own daughter and me? I can't stand it anymore. What a deadbeat husband. I will sump him myself. This is my vengeance story against my awful and despicable sister-obsessed husband. My name is Emilia. I've been married to Ethan for 5 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter, Luna. Our daughter, who we had right after our marriage, is adorable. She's our everything. My husband and my daughter, they're my precious family. But it seems like my husband did not feel the same. One evening, while waiting for my husband to return, I was cooking curry with Luna. "Mommy, when is Daddy coming back?" Daddy is late today. I wonder what happened. My husband, who usually comes straight home after work, but today didn't come back even after 7:30 p.m. No response to my calls or messages either. "Mommy, I'm hungry." "Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and eat without Daddy today." After finishing dinner with my daughter and tidying up, my husband finally returned home. "Welcome back. Wait, what?" Beside Ethan, there were his sister Amy and her daughter Yuri. For some reason, they were carrying a ton of luggage. "Ethan, what on earth?" I was unable to process the situation. He then blurted out the unbelievable. "From today, we're taking care of Amy and Yuri." What? Take care of these two? I don't understand. He could have said something before bringing them home. I could not wrap my head around this whole situation. I barely squeezed out my words. Support them? Why all of a sudden? I haven't heard anything about this. It was a sudden decision. What can I do? Amy had a fight with her husband. That's why she contacted me. Support? For how long? We don't even have any spare room in our apartment. Despite my subtle hints of inconvenience, my husband is unbothered. You can let them use your room, right? My room? You can move to Luna's room. Then we'll have a free room and Amy and Yuri can stay there. What the... My husband expects me to endure all this like it's nothing. Why do I have to put up with this when we're the one providing for them? I really don't understand. My husband, with a big smile, invited his sister and niece inside and kindly told them, "Feel free to make yourself at home from today." Without even a word of sorry to intrude, the two of them stepped in, settled themselves on the couch, started watching TV. I pulled my husband aside and whispered, "Hey, are you out of your mind? Taking care of these two all of a sudden? We don't quite have much room in our budget either, you know." My husband then sighed and made a disgusted face. "Geez, Amy's struggling and you're being so cold-hearted. Can't you at least help her out a little?" That's not it. I don't mind if they stay with us for a while, but to support them is a different story. At least they should contribute to the groceries. What? You're absolutely stingy. Amy's not working, so it's obvious she can't contribute. Calling me stingy. I don't care about your opinion. My precious sister is in trouble. As the head of the household, I've decided to support her, so you should obey me. Saying this, he went on to play games with them. Moreover, the curry I saved for tomorrow was completely eaten up by my husband and them. All the while, I was getting yelled at by my husband. "Prepare more nutritious meals for my niece." Has he ever cared about nutrition of our own daughter's meals? I see. He can be that caring of a person when it comes to his beloved niece. My husband completely sided with his sister and dismissed my feelings. Worse, he labeled me as a cheapskate for worrying about our finances. She can't contribute to the food expenses because she isn't working. That's not my problem. No matter how much they're struggling, It's not like we can afford to provide for them indefinitely for free. The following day, and the day after that, my husband only spoiled his sister and niece. He barely acknowledged me and our daughter. Amy, I got the cake you said you wanted. Oh, thanks, Ethan. I saw some toys from Yuri's favorite cartoon on sale. Couldn't help but to buy them. Wow, thanks, Uncle. The cake was only for his sister and niece, and of course, the toy was only for his niece. Our daughter and his niece are about the same age. It wouldn't be hard to guess that our daughter would also love some cake and toys. But I have to hold out a little longer. Once his sister makes up with her husband, they'll leave our house and our family life will return to normal. Telling myself that, I managed to suppress my anger. Then, one day, my daughter asked me, Mom, does Dad like Yuri more than me? What? Because he's always nice only to Yuri. He doesn't even respond when I try to talk to him. Saying that, my daughter's eyes welled up with tears. I couldn't say anything, and I hugged my daughter tightly. Don't worry, he's your dad, Luna. Though I managed to calm her down for now, this can't go on. Some days later, I asked my husband to change his attitude. Luna's feeling left out. It's fine that you adore Yuri, but you have to spend time with Luna too. All right. It's such a hassle though. A hassle? Our child is Luna, not Yuri, you know. Yes, I got it. I just have to pay attention to Luna, right? Although I told him about our daughter's feelings, the situation hasn't changed at all. My daughter looked at my husband, who was happily playing with our niece, with sad eyes. And it's not like my sister-in-law would take care of our daughter instead of my husband. My husband and my sister-in-law were always with Yuri. I was the only one who paid attention to our daughter, but she seemed lonely nonetheless. A whole month passed living with them, and my family was falling apart. We barely made ends meet. Moreover, no matter how much I cleaned up, our apartment had always been messy because my sister-in-law and niece never tidied up. My husband continued to spoil his sister and niece, disregarding my daughter and me. I couldn't bear this any longer. I finally confronted my husband. You've crossed the limit. I'm sick of it. Can you seriously think about our future? What are you up about? Out of nowhere. I've been saying this over and over, haven't I? Life's getting harder and harder, and what are you planning to do about Amy and her situation? You're not going to say that we're going to live together forever, are you? What can we do? She's currently arguing with her husband. Then, shouldn't she get a divorce or talk it out with her husband? It's already been a month, you know. Luna and I are at our limit. Please consider our feelings too. I knew that bringing up this topic would upset Ethan, but I had to do it for Luna and for our family's future. Luna loves you, you know. She sees her dad, who adores being nice only to his niece. Of course she's going to feel hurt. I emphasized Luna's feelings more than my own. Ethan's a father too, so he should understand how lonely Luna feels. He should change his attitude. But what came out of his mouth was a complete shocker. Amy is my sister, right? She's like a family to you too. How can you say such cold things? You're so heartless. Heartless? Me? I was shocked by his word. It's not that I dislike my sister-in-law and my niece. I just needed our current situation to change. But Ethan reacted as if I was the bad guy. I've always thought you were cold-hearted. Amy's in trouble, and Yuri's lonely without her dad, so of course I have to give them attention. You're there for Luna, so why can't you handle it? Whoa! Hold on. I'm taking care of all the household expenses. Why do Luna and I have to suffer? My salary's part of our family budget, you know. Well, of course. Amy is my sister. That makes her your family too, yet you're always saying cold things. Don't you feel embarrassed? Ethan shouted at me, blaming me entirely. He looked at me with cold eyes, clearly showing that his sister and his niece are more important for him than our daughter. Finally, he said something that made me doubt my ears. Amy wants to keep living here, so from now on, we'll be taking care of them. We are responsible for everything: food, clothing, and shelter. In that moment, all my hopes were gone. I was a fool to even have thought that he might understand if we talked. The old life will never come back to us. I squarely looked Ethan in the eyes and said, "Fine, then let's get a divorce." Huh? My husband was making a face I'd never seen before. He probably did not understand what I had just said. After a long silence, he stared at me incredulously. Divorce? What the hell are you talking about all of a sudden? You're kidding, right? Do you really think I'd joke about something like this? If you're going to ignore mine and Luna's feelings, then I won't consider yours either. I'm going to make the best decision for Luna and us to be happy. Probably never expected me to bring up divorce, he looked incredulous and scoffed at me. What are you talking about, divorce? You couldn't possibly raise Luna on your own. Sure, single parenting is tough, but it's a hell of a lot better than continuing like this. If you're going to go that far, then go ahead and file for divorce. I'll even sign the papers. Just remember, if you change your mind later and say, I don't want a divorce after all, it's too late. Did he think I would back down? I pulled out the paper I had prepared earlier and handed it along with a pen to him. Seeing the divorce papers in front of him, he froze. He just stared at me, not making any move to fill them out. What's wrong? You're going to fill out the divorce papers, right? Oh, no. I forced him, who was visibly rattled, to hold the pen. Come on, fill it out. You said you would, didn't you? No, that was just a joke. What? A joke? After saying it's too late if you change your mind later? You dared me to divorce you, and now you're too scared to go through with it? Pathetic. Shut up! I'll fill it out, okay? After signing his part, he thrusted the paper at me. There, I signed it. Happy now? Get out! You're annoying! I calmly responded to him. No, you're the one who's leaving, okay? What? Huh? What do you mean, huh? Have you forgotten that this apartment is under my name? And ever since you started supporting your beloved sister, even with you chipping in, our living expenses weren't enough. And I was the one covering all the rent. Yet you still had the audacity to continue living here without any guilt. Are you stupid? Are you out of your mind? Suddenly, a voice cried out from behind. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Amy, my sister-in-law, ran towards Ethan and grabbed him by the collar. Ethan, what the hell is happening? You said we could stay here forever, right? So you were lying? Amy, no, this isn't... What do you mean this isn't? I trusted you because I thought you would keep us in your home forever. I can't believe you're kicking us out. I didn't think things would turn out like this either. Huh? You can't even deal with your own wife, can you? What did you say? I had enough of their nonsense bickering. I threw my sister-in-law and her children's belongings out onto the front door. Hey, wait! What do you think you're doing? Amy approached me in anger, but now that I decided to divorce Ethan, I felt no obligation to protect this woman. Just getting rid of someone else's belongings, that's all. Actually, you're trespassing. Can you leave as soon as possible? I told her in a quiet voice, causing Amy to shiver and step back. Hey, you don't have to throw out our stuff. And you, Ethan. I turned to my ex-husband. Could you please leave us as well? I have no need for you two anymore. What kind of thing is that to say to your husband? You're not my husband anymore. You're my ex-husband. I never thought you were such a cold-hearted woman. Well, that's too bad for you. You've stepped on my landmine. If you find your sister and her child cuter than our child, why don't the three of you happily live together? Where are we supposed to go if we leave here? Are you actually kicking us out? I don't care. Do whatever you want. Now get out. I'm going to call the cops if you don't. After confirming that my husband and his sister's family reluctantly left, I closed the house door. I probably won't see them again. Glancing around the room, I noticed my daughter looking at me with a puzzled expression. Mama? Where did Daddy go? I'm sorry, Luna. Do you think it's okay if it's just Mama and you from now on? Then, my daughter showed a moment of hesitation, but her smile quickly returned. I'll be okay as long as Mama's here. I'm fine as long as I'm with you. She ran up to me and I hugged her tightly. That's right, even without my husband, we will be fine. Surely the two of us can be happy. Later, I repeatedly shipped their belongings to my husband's parents' house and explained the situation over the phone. My husband and his sister's family seemed to have returned to their parents' house as expected. However, they seemed to have been disowned and kicked out of the house by their furious parents. As a result, my ex-husband rented a small apartment where he now lives with his sister and his niece as a family of 3. They probably wished for that, so I couldn't care less. I found out later that the reason my sister-in-law quarreled with her husband was due to her spending habits. Now, it seems she's being asked to repay the money she spent from her husband. Almost every day, my ex-husband has been sending me cringy texts. I was wrong, so forgive me. I love you and Luna the most. I want to get us back as a family. Of course, I didn't reply to any of them, and they were immediately thrown in the trash inbox. Luna doesn't want to see her dad at all, so we have no plans to meet him. I plan to move out of this place soon because I would be in trouble if we were to storm in here. For my daughter, I want to give her lots of love and everything in the world. Even without a father, I want her to live a happy life.